As they moved, deer emerging, some of them even standing up in the branches overhead. They all bowed low to Floria's passing. Does, bucks, and fawns of various ages were all watching them eagerly. They usually darted back into the trees after he had gone by. How many deer live in Shimmerwood? Rarity asked Floria. I seem to have seen a great number of them. How many at one time is difficult to say, Floria admitted. The Shimmerwood's magic is great, so it has us those who live in its borders. Stretching, Dash repeated. What does that mean? It means those who are a bit more in the Shimmerwood, Floria said. Some deer who are not born or die can nevertheless be found here, at least for a while. I learned that being never stops, Dash said. Wonder, do we all just exist forever? Is the world just a place we are for a while before going on to something else? So many philosophers from the antler kin, the ponyfolk, the camels, countless other species, Floria said. The magic of existence itself, really. Of all the species I have encountered, the pronghorns are the most knowledgeable about such things. The part is often difficult to interpret. Nevertheless, for all the experience and the dreaming, their dispositions are almost unfortunately sunny. Infrequently, and betraying a perpetually cheery mood to what they learn. The conversation died out for a while, the ponies content to think their own thoughts. Alice actually moved. She wished she could go faster. Floria did not seem in the mood for swift travel. Applejack didn't know the way out. So as soon as she followed her current path, she would reach the Archback Mountains. There was no guarantee of that, not after everything she'd been told about the Shimmer Wood. At the point, they came to a place where the road forked in two. The right word, making the natural choice, and the nearest area indicated they should take the left fork, or slope downwards. Applejack was in no position to argue, so they headed to the left, all the way to the left of the path. The ground dropped off into a vale filled with trees. The reserve pony realized he had been slowly. I don't really know where I'm going, she thought to herself. Then she wondered if she could have used her true sense to pick the proper path. Her idea. And the more she considered it, the more seemed possibility. Floria said that her gift was determining truth, and that didn't include finding true paths to her destination. In fact, Floria's own true sense allowed her to see a creature's true nature. Could Applejack do it also? She was the element of honesty, after all. For ponies, true nature means a cutie mark, she thought. Made a grin spread across her face. Maybe she could tell Applebloom where her cutie mark would be. You know, as long as you're still answering questions, Rainbow Dash asked over her shoulder. Yes. Well, I kinda got a small one in mind, she said. Or I guess it's not so small, but it's really not a big deal. Still, if you know the answer, I'd love to hear it. Ask. What's the deal with the weather out here? The Sky Blue Pegasus asked. I mean, both the Shimmerwood and Glidedale, you gotta get rain sometime, right? And the seasons change, don't they? Gloria nodded. But how? I mean, I guess you dear make weather with your magic, but what about Glidedale? How do they get their weather? They get it from Equestria, Floria said, listening surprisingly to multiple ponies. As do we in the Shimmerwood. We do shape some of the weather around the forest with our magic, but we get most of our weather from the actions of Pegasus ponies in Equestria, and Glidedale gets nearly all their weather thusly. But that doesn't make any sense, Jess cried, stopping and causing a halt to the party. There aren't any Pegasuses. Take up! Mary began, but Applejack suddenly pushed her back. No! The reserve party snapped. I've had enough! I'm sick of hearing this! I heard it all the way, blast away here, and I won't hear it no more! She turned to Rarity, glared at her, causing the white unicorn to retreat a few paces. Really? No more corrected rainbow! Then she wheeled on the sky blue Pegasus and began to stalk towards her. Dazz's ears flattened against her head in a furious approach. You, Rainbow, you're gonna get it right once and for all! And I tonight, you got that! It's Pegasus! Sides and saucers. The bottom lip was trembling. She swallowed hard. I want to say I have to correct Applejack on this. I've actually looked at the comments. Apparently, it's also correct. And to be honest, that was how I used to do it too. So, moving on. Turned her head sharply to the side. Melodious sound. Not dainty, for it grew quite loud quite quickly. Rarity began to chuckle. I was trying to stifle it. then giving up and breaking into fits of laughter. Several of the deer behind him also began to laugh. Applejack bit her lip, trying to remain cross. Dash grew hugely, a few giggles rising in her throat. Soon, she too was laughing. Applejack screwed up her face, but finally unable to stop but struck a fall for breaking through her composure. She gave the whole party was taking up with laughter, echoing through the trees. By slow degrees, the laughter. Oh my, Floria murmured. I've been waiting for that. See in my mind wasn't nearly as fin. Throwing up a hope of salute. So like I was saying, there are no Pegasi in Glarcy. Never go there. I never hear of equestrian Pegasi going over the mountains. So I must. Most of the world gets its weather from Equestria. Indirectly, the Golden Hind said. The weather you create for Equestria alters temperature, pressure, and air currents in the atmosphere above it. Those alterations spread out from Equestria's borders, where they interact with existing atmospheric conditions and bring about changes. These changes spread out across from the world, forming weather patterns, temperature changes, and even seasonal shifts far beyond your country. There are other creatures in other nations that can manipulate the weather, like the pronghorns you've already met. They help regulate global weather as they travel by altering the energy in the atmosphere through their lightning. But the Pegasi and unicorns, and even work making the weather for the whole world. That's amazing, Dad said. Nobody ever told me I was helping making the world's weather. It's incredible, Rarity agreed. Incredible and quite true. Florias said, you ponies in your country are more important than you realize. Much life and strength flows out of Equestria, and Tessa's place is far removed from any pony's normal life. What about places like the Everfree Forest? Rarity asked. Weather there seems to happen on its own, without any guidance. Is that a ripple effect of Pegasi weather too? Some of it is, because weather naturally moves through the whole of the sky, the Golden Hind said. However, the Everfree Forest is one of a small number of places around the world where ambient magic is strong enough that nature can keep its own order. It's a self-sufficient environment, with plants feeding the weather and the animals, the weather supplying the animals and plants, the animals helping manage the plants and even the weather. The Everfree Forest is very old, and has been a font of powerful magic since the earliest days. It's why its ability to manage itself has endured. Believe it or not, nature used to control itself over the world. Hold up now, really? Applejack exclaimed. But that's impossible, Rarity cried. It is it? Death said, prompting the other two to look at her. I mean, we just found out Equestria makes the world's weather. Is it more impossible than that? Well, plants and animals are aware they're looking after themselves the whole world over. Applejack trailed off, stopped her hoof on her ground. Yes, it is the truth, Floria said. By now everyone had stopped walking. 3 ponies turned together to face her. The whole world used to be like the Everfree Forest, and in control. Activism in her voice. Let's say your Floria's expression grew dark. She lowered her head. Behind her, the ponies saw the deer scoring that was suddenly looking sad and ashamed. I'm afraid that it's our fault, she finally said. Well, not specifically the fault of us present, but the fault of the deer folk, the fault of our war. The magic we used in battle could progress. Eventually, and casting them did irreparable harm to nature all over the world. The movement of the weather, the growth of the plant, nature, behavior of the unintelligent animals, all of it was destructed by the war. By the end, the whole natural order had been never restored. Now, thinking, magical creatures must do the work that nature once did itself. You say, do not think too ill of us. We have saddled you with a great burden, and never apologize. That is nature, because we deer broke it. Applejack stared intently at Floria for a moment to see what she would say. Green eyes bored into slices of the night sky between the great hind's eyelids, but found them inscrutable. You weren't around for the war, right? You were after, right? Yes, Floria said. And all your rat tails. They were born after the war, too? That's right, Floria said. And there's nothing to forgive. Y'all that did on any of them. I won't hold the axes of the pious deer against y'all. What's done is done. Thank you, Floria said. For all the regrets the elders espoused, I'm not sure they were able to ask for forgiveness. It's an opportunity. Think nothing of it, Reserve Pony said. Shoot, I think it turned out all right in the long run. I didn't have to look after planes and careers. I had nothing to do. Yeah, Des chimed in. And the weatherman itself, I'd be out of a job. I mean, I guess I could make a living as a stunt pony, but that doesn't pay like we're good. Even in the faith. I must remember to have faith in the workings of the wheels. Yet the white unicorn could not stop thinking about what Floria had shared. It dwelt on the journey, moving briskly. He barely noticed when he began to ascend pointedly. The path slipping determinedly upwards and Mosik, so powerful it could break the natural order, as he thought. When Twilight's feeling better, ask her about why forbidden, as he thought. So nowadays, ponies administer the orders that nature had previously maintained on its own. It was a crazy thought, and any of the old and properly wise ponies he could ask about it would scoff at her. Yet, how would they know? Old as they were, they could not match Floria's wisdom, gleaned from more than a millennium in life. As he was not even as old as the war. Floria had not, to her knowledge, lied to them when it came to matters of history and exposition, so Rarity had to was telling the truth here. It daunted her, thinking of spells so strong they disrupted the functioning of nature. It would take such power, perhaps even on the scale of what the Princess Celestia herself had. It made her recall Florias Proclamation during her outburst last night. That she was close to the princess in power, being a near match for the goddess of the sun with so small feet. She looked back over her shoulder, catching the Floria looking ahead. Those eyes didn't even seem to be self-contained. It was like there was an infinity of stars behind Floria's eyes, and onlookers only ever glimpsed portions of it at a time. She said she achieved omniscience, Rarity pondered. She did it for less than a second, but she said she succeeded. She thinks I have more powerful sight than her. Made Rarity feel small and strange. What would it be like to see everything ever? Would her mind make certain strain any better than Floria's? She thought of the element of generosity she met in her dreams. Could she handle omniscience? The shimmer of one's overhead light remained bright and silver. Sometime later, the Rainbow Dash would notice a spot in the middle of their path. It wasn't silver, it was whitish gold, and when she passed through it, she felt something she had not felt accompanied by any of the lights of the wood. Heat. She glanced up briefly. Just before it passed out of sight, she caught high above a swath of blue sky. They were coming out of the forest, and they were quick at her pace. Applejack, sensing her good mood, decided to trot faster also. Rarity for once did not hesitate to join in. Floria and the rest of the deer behind her trotted faster as well. Dash glanced behind her, behind Floria, to the white-tailed deer lined up so obediently behind their mistress. She grinned. He hadn't said anything the whole trip. With a flutter of her wings, she swirled around and flew past Floria. Dr. Buzzley to line. She scared nervously at her arrival as he laughed. You guys have been awfully quiet back here.
All right.
Buck's green eyes said, stammering. They speak! Dash exclaimed. This elicits nervous chuckles from a simple deer. So, now that I know you can talk, I want to hear you do it. Tell me your names. A rainbow lightning bolt keen mark flickered.
The green bug began. Sarah sighed. My name is Doigo Ma.
Did you just use your Liam voice?
Yes, I did!
Man is my mom's name. Dash said with a dismal grin. Call me Rainbow Dash, or just Dash if you're feeling friendly. She arched an eyebrow. You want to feel friendly, don't you? Sir, Adele with golden eyes said, her spirits perking up. My name is Hermia, and a great treat to meet you. I've never seen a Pegasus pony before. And now you're Vex voice?
Yep.
I guess you haven't gotten the joke, folks. That's boring is considering these elves. These deer to be elves. And it's great. I've never seen a Pegasus pony before. I guess you wouldn't have, would ya? Can't be too many Pegasus ponies in Glidedale. Trust me, most of them are as cool as me. I'm about as cool as it gets. What you told me over dinner certainly sets you as a gem among Pegasi. Mastering lightning like the pronghorns is powerful magic. It takes great strength of will. It does take will, Dash admitted. But like I said the other night, what it really takes is the will to let go of your control.
You have to let the lightning come to you. You have to accept it when it arrives. That is what we learned when we first mastered magic, Doigo said, calm and creepy to his voice. We learned that all that magic is give and take. Magic enters us and leaves us. Our bodies must breathe magic just as they must breathe air. I bet deer learned some pretty cool magic, Dad said with a smile. I got a friend who's a unicorn, so he's all about magic. So you'd love to see some of yourself, I bet. Oh, well. Doigo stared, sea green eyes glimmering. Come on! The Pegasus raised her eyebrows. Well, I've gotten rather good at creating echoes of myself, the buck admitted. It's not magic to every deer masters, but I could do it. You mean like doubles? Dash duplicates? That's it exactly. Ines said with a nod. Doigo could do them very well. The way she talked about You're new, aren't you? Dash said, leaning towards Doigo. Yes I am. Doigo admitted, this is my first week on the periphery guard. I didn't know I would be meeting ponies from Equestria, especially not special guests of Our Lady. That has been a great week, hasn't it? Dash said with a grin. That's even a sight with her right front knee. Doigo smiled at her. It really has. Flair glanced at her shoulder as Rainbow Dash continued to chat with the escorting whitetails. She smiled, walking closer to the young ponies. She leaned her head forward. As he says she's the leader. She whispered, She certainly has charisma. She's also thought, Verity said. She's inspired us plenty on occasions. Still, unrecognized leadership was her special gift, she silver overblade, Applejack said. Along with the progress steed to her. Rainbow could talk the talk and walk the walk, but not always at the same time. Rainbow Dash continued to hold court with the whitetails for about an hour. Rises overhead were broken more and more by spots of sunlight. Finally, they rounded a bend in the road. Slowly the path before them opened up. There was no more forest ahead, just a small road stretching away before them. Wall of mighty brown rock rising to the right side. Florias said, Behold, the Applejack Mountains. Tess was so excited she flapped her wings and flew, soaring out for the covers of the trees and basking in the warmth of the full sun. Applejack and Rarity followed her out at a gallop. Three ponies rejoiced, seeing the sky again. Dash most of all. It was a moment later, however, that Applejack looked up and saw that the sun was right overhead. It was now noon. Hi now! She turned back to Floria. How's it all noon? Well, you've been walking for hours and got a late start this morning, didn't we? Time passes stiffly inside the Shimmerwood and outside of it. According to our collective will, the Golden Nine said. Don't worry. It hasn't affected anything major. We merely wish to give you plenty of time to climb the mountains before sundown. Time you now have, and enough, I hope, to join us for one final meal. Rarity looked at Applejack, but Applejack looked at Rarity, so did Rainbow Dash. My unicorn met their eyes for a moment, then nodded. I believe that's all right, she said, turning to Floria. You're the one who said Twilight wouldn't die. Yes, you will not, Floria said with a nod. You can afford to eat with us, I see. And just around here. She turned back to the whitetails and spoke to them with a twill. They scattered, long necks bent downward and eyes noses towards the ground. Flora turned away from the ponies and joined them, snout just raised off the ground. The 3 ponies exchanged glances. Finally, Dash turned back to the probing deer. What are you looking for? The plot shouldn't be nearby. This joke is too easy. We love this story too much to take advantage of it. So thus, out of the goodness of our hearts, we're not gonna make the gag. Instead, we're going to continue on. That's the type of material you can expect on this show. Boo? Yeah. Half to herself, she looked at her head and stiffed for a moment. There, she said, walking off to the trees just before the forest ended. The other deer followed her intently. Curious, the 3 ponies trotted after them, passing between 2 oaks and a small grove. They eventually emerged in a small clearing open to the sky above, where many wildflowers were blooming. In the center of the clearing at the top of the hill were pansies? Applejack said with some surprise. A huge plot of pansies bloomed in the middle of the clearing. Yellow, red, blue, pink, violet, white. Nice. The deer clustered around it, and though they stood facing equestrians, they seemed almost impatient. Pansies are a great delicacy for deer folk. Floria explained, standing in the midst of the plot. Unfortunately for us, they do not grow deep in the forest. They do not respond well to our magical lights. Mostly found around the edges of the shimmerwood, particularly up here, where the altitude negates the heat from the sun. You eat pansies? Verity said with some surprise. She only ever known pansies as garden flowers, cute clover blossoms well suited to neat arrangements in horticultural displays. I thought you just used them as colonists, like you did last night. We garnish them because we cannot grow them in the forest, so we only have them infrequently. Floria said, "It is not often we send deer up here. I can monitor the barrier around the arc back from my tower. It's been a very long time since any creature came down this road to the wood." Well, we'll be coming back down once we get to bed of Violet, Eddie said. "You better meet us here, I guess, many policies as you like." Floria said, her voice surprisingly unsure. "Suppose you're right." "What?" Tess asked. "Nothing," the Golden Hind said. "Come, have a bite. You'll find them quite tasty, if you've never partaken of them before." The three ponies constantly stepped forward, Applejack taking the lead. She'd never been much for trying new things before, but after everything she had experienced on this incredible journey, she was much less frightened by the strains in the novel. And, as she approached the pansy, bent down a bit off a flower, chewing thoughtfully for a moment. The reserve pony murmured between grinding teeth. "Can't sleep. Juicy. Like an overripe apple." That's been a mouthful. "I like it," she exclaimed, her open mouth revealing half-masticated flowers. "Das, please, don't talk with your mouth full," Verity said before bending her neck and nipping off a flower. "All right, Mom," the Sky Blue Pegasus said cheerfully, reaching down for another gobble. The deer, for all their cheerfulness, seemed to sense the urgency in each pony's chest. They made no conversation, and for the next few minutes there was only the enthusiastic chewing and biting and swallowing of the simple hooffolk. As Rainbow Dash tried to ponder her time chatting with the Whitetails. She learned a great deal about them. Their names, Manulia, Teodoro, Teresa, Ifia, and Abel, in addition to the Inez, Dongo, and Hermania, along with some details about her studies. Some of them were still learning the basics of magic, and some aspects of culture in the Shimmerwood. For example, mothers chose the names for her sons, while fathers named their daughters. This made her want to know more, though. He had time to get to know the deer the way to deal ponies. What Dash had seen of them fascinated her. She changed her opinion of them, at least in part. She thought they were strange, but that was to be expected, being so different from ponies. They were helpful and generous and kind, just like her own friends. "I want to come back here someday," she thought. She reflected that they were now just a lightning bolt away from Ponyville. When the meal was finished, Floria stepped out in the midst of the pansies. The three ponies followed her back through the trees, then up the path a short distance separating them from the open sky. The 8 Whitetails followed behind her. When she was standing fully outside the forest, Sky Blue Pegasus and the stone mouse behind her. She turned travelers. "Now comes the hour in which we must part ways," she said. "I do not think it will be the last time our paths will cross." "You cannot thank you enough for all you provided," Randy said. She bowed, prompting Applejack and Rainbow Dash to do the same. "We shall, of course, relay news of your kindness to Princess Celestia when we get the opportunity." "I don't doubt it," Floria said. "And when you do, please give the princess my love. But as to what we've provided, we are not quite finished in that regard." The three boys looked up curiously at her. Inez went up beside them, carrying a bundle of wrapped leaves in her mouth. She said beside them, "There is Nan and pansies here, enough to carry you through the rest of your journey when accompanied by the other food you have packed." "Ooh! Where do you find your bread?" "Additionally, we prepared distinct gifts for the three of you." She looked at Applejack. "Applejack?" "Yes, ma'am?" Applejack said promptly. Dash stuffed a bundle of food into a saddle bag. "I kept my eye on you from the time you entered Glidedale," said Floria. "I heard you complain to the heavens for want of many practical things. But there was one desire that stood out. Here I grant it." Her antlers shimmered, and floating in the air in front of her was rope! observed Polly exclaimed, practically hunting for the floating coil of woven rope. It was grayish green, but very sturdy despite the thinness. Rope indeed, Floria said. Spit on it, please. Applejack stopped in her tracks. Look, she muttered. Hold on now. Please, spit on it. Rarity and Dasher surprises Applejack. Hold on now, my lady, Applejack said. I don't go in for spitting. It's a family habit. Now I understand, Floria said, and I agree with you. But here and now, indulge me. I promise I won't be offended. Applejack glanced sidelong at the golden high, arching an eyebrow. Floria remained eerily calm, narrowing her eyes. Applejack grimaced at the rope for a moment. Well, she finally said, all right. Trying out to the floating coil, she worked her mouth for a moment. Then, with a rough sputter, emitted a gulp of saliva from her mouth. Splattered against the rope. For a surprise, it slowly stretched across all coils, making it briefly slick with spit. It is a layer. The rope was dry, so it had never been besmirched. Now that the rope has tasted you, it knows you, Floria said. It is magically enchanted to be owned by you. No one can use it save by your leave. And if you lose it, it'll always come back to you, no matter what. Huh, Applejack said, eyeing the rope with newfound approval. She cautiously took it up in her mouth, felt the brief tingle of magic, then held the plain rope. Albeit very well woven plain rope. She bent back and hooked it over the lasso knots in the belt of her salad bags. For you, Rainbow Dash, Gloria said, turning to the sky blue wings. To your flight, whether powered by wings or driven by lightning. Her antlers shimmered, and a scarf appeared floating in the air. It was a dull gray. It had an odd luster to it, as though metal was woven into it. Dash stepped forward and reached out a hoof to it, slinking over her withers. Thanks, she said, but I don't really need a scarf. I don't get cold when I fly. I know, Floria said, but there's more to it than that. The scarf is enchanted to add to the part of the air ahead of it, opening up less restrictive corridors of space. It should help you navigate difficult wind currents and rough atmospheric events. Ooh! Dash cooed, sitting on her haunches and holding the scarf in her hooves. It felt slick and clean, like the surface of a playground slide. She wrapped it around her neck and tied it firmly in place, then stood again, heels dangled down in front of her legs. And for you, Rarity. Floria looked at the white unicorn. She smiled warmly. You have given me so much, Rarity. You have given me back a sense of trust in the good of things, which until this day I had not realized I had lost. I shall cherish your lessons. I hope you will remember mine, as such as they are beneficial. The hard part of your journey is nearly over. However, you may yet encounter peril and chaos. I would not have you do so unprepared. Her antlers shimmered, shoulder shapes withered into existence, solidifying rapidly into Randy's eyebrows rose. It was a set of armor, the same bright colors he'd seen on all the deer folk. Horses were all wrong. The helmet was delicately shaped, with two pointy forward crests of crystal, and metal cheek plates to strengths that curved around. The flashers swept gracefully back against where the shoulders would be. Thin lines of crystal set into it like the veins on a leaf. The portrayal was attached to it firmly, no visible joints, making the whole torso set to look like a single piece of steel. 4 greaves floated in the air, shaped like long, thin leaves meant to wrap around the lower legs. Yet again, the proportions weren't right for a deer. It was too short, too broad, marking into the body shape of a... Rarity gasped. For me? Floria nodded. I had my snips crafted overnight, she said, and as light and sturdy as the armor my white tails wear. The crystal embedded in the steel is enchanted with light barrier spells, enhancing its protection, while the crystal crest on the helmet will help amplify the spells from your horn. I believe you'll find it a perfect fit. Thank you, Rarity exclaimed. It's beautiful. She used her magic to take the armor from Floria and levitate it around her own body. She raised first one leg and then the other, then one back leg, then the other, sliding the greaves on each leg in turn. First she was confused, because the greaves were large on her, slipping down on the ground. Yet the steel seemed to be speaking to her, so she channeled a burst of magic through the 4 greaves. He instantly tightened, fitting her exactly. stuck her neck through the hole in the forehead of the torso piece, allowing the betrayal to bump against her collarbone. Flashed her cell against her flanks and sides. Now a burst of magic tightened him just as snugly as the greaves. Finally, she put the helmet back on her head, sliding her horn through the convenient hole in the helmet's peak. The nose guard slid down her face, while a final pulse of magic made the helmet snug on her head, not even needing a chin strap. She pressed her out of the circle. The armor was incredibly light. She used her magic to slide her saddlebags out from underneath the flashers and refastened them around the silver steel. "It's so cool!" Des exclaimed, zipping her hostily. "Now we got all cool stuff!" Reddy glanced at her friends and realized Des was right. Between Applejack's Glidale armor, Daz's pronghorn sizzles, and now her own dearest armor, all three of them were quite impressively outfitted. She nodded at Floria. "Thank you so much, my lady," she said. Floria nodded in turn. "As I said, Rarity, thank you." She walked around them, headed towards the Silverwood, and briefly turned with her, while she moved back under the shadow of the trees. "You should search for the red and violet in the vales between the mountain peaks," she said. "It should be growing plentifully this time of year. Remember, only a bright, violetly purple flower will have enough magical power to save Twilight Sparkle. You must use your dragon fire as quickly as you can." "Sure enough," Applejack saw a nod. Thank you all so much." "Thanks again," Dash cried, flying up and waving her front hoof. "See you all on the way back!" "Of course you will," Floria said. Was there a laugh in her voice? "Farewell, Applejack. Farewell, Rarity. Farewell, Rainbow Dash." "Bye, Doigo!" Dash cried. "Want to see you make those echoes sometime, so keep practicing!"
"Yes, ma'am."
"Goodbye, Lady Floria!" Rarity cried, sitting back on her haunches as the front host. "Goodbye, and thank you for everything!" They stayed and waved goodbye for a good minute. Presently, Rarity stopped waving and got to her hooves. She began to walk up the path, then stopped, realizing neither Applejack nor Rainbow Dash had moved ahead of her. So she looked back over her shoulder. Or observed plenty sky blue Pegasus were following her. The four were now smiling gently and nodding. Rarity drew a breath and held herself a little higher. "Come along now," she said, turning back to the path. "Let's see how quickly we can make this climb." She surged forward at a tritter trot, oblivious to the rocky path and steep incline. The others followed swift behind her. "Oh," Floria's voice yelled from behind him, "and try not to be too disappointed about what happens at the gala." The boys stopped dead in their tracks. "The gala?" Applejack repeated in shock. "You don't think she meant the Grand Gala, do you?" Rarity asked. "Hey!" Des cried to her in the air, too. "What do you know about the Grand Gala?" She stopped. Floria and the other deer had vanished. Des rolled her eyes. "Okay, they're 9. They held us out a lot, but you know what? You're still weird." "I'm sure they appreciate the sentiment very much," Rarity said gently. "Now come on, let's get going." Dash shrugged her shoulders. Applejack laughed, turning back up the path. Dash did as well, and the three of them set off into the towering mountains. Why am I hearing James Horner's awesome music for Lord of the Rings?